Hello, thanks for joining us on Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. We bring to you again our Matter of Concern program. And in today's package, we are going to look at the issue of divorce. Divorce is one of the social issues that have plagued our society. And I have two persons to discuss the matter. I have Dr. Mrs. Adim Madumere Chinwe. She's a director with IMSUBE. Madam, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much. Good day, viewers.
Yeah, another regular is Ojukwu Lambert. He's here with us also to highlight the issue. OJ, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, OJ, I have to remind, is the publisher and editor-in-chief of Newspoint newspaper, one of the papers making waves in the States. Now, let's go to the point. But before then, I want to remind you to remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name is Afam H. Madam, let me start with you. What the issue of divorce is very well known to us. There is, it's become a worrisome matter in our society. And marriages are consummated, and thereafter they just break down and people go their different ways. Unlike before, when it is more or less like a taboo to see people part way. In fact, people feel ashamed to say they have gone out of, they have divorced, you know. But today it's like it has become a social norm. What is it that suddenly spiked off broken marriages? Why marriages no longer hold?
Well, thank you so much for that question. I should say there are economic reasons, there are social reasons, there are moral reasons, maybe even religious. So
give us a little bit, one point on each of these factors.
Okay, fine. Economically, when you've seen how the society is, things are getting out of hand financially, economically, things getting ends to meet is not easy anymore. So when the pressure, some people cannot withstand the pressure when things are not going the way they are supposed to. So they have that issues arise which they can't also endure, and then you find the couple going their separate ways. Then socially, this handset has caused a lot of problems. Too many problems.
Social media.
So many problems that let me even say the women mostly. I think I should shift into that. I will say the truth. Yeah. They're more so engrossed in social media. They forget their responsibilities as a wife.
Okay, so the use of the phone is a distraction.
Yes, it's a distraction. Socially, yes. It's a big distraction for couples to live up to their responsibilities. And before you know it, issues arise. Differences cannot be met and separation results. And then culturally too, I should say culturally too, marriage is a contract, and there are terms and conditions to that contract. So when one is not meeting any of the terms and conditions and is not able to adjust or readjust, then it becomes a challenge, ends in divorce.
Okay, OJ, you see, there's something Madam said. She first of all mentioned the issue of finance. Poor finances can put pressure, and when there is somebody can no longer stand the pressure, you know, she might pull out, or he might, you know. Now, you see, when marriages are consummated, what we are used to hearing in the churches is it is for better,
for worse.
So should that, because somebody maybe finances went down or something, shouldn't they be able to manage it? What is your view about it?
Well, my view is that I think I agree. Finance plays a lot of role, but you must also know that in this generation, they want a lot of things very fast. People want to get married very early after finishing school, maybe. Perchance you don't have work, your wife do not have a work, or your proposed wife, then you start getting a You know, you get married, begin courtship, and either of the parties start saying, let's do it fast, let's do it. My parents are saying, my people are saying.
Okay.
By the time you know it, you are already engaged, you're already getting married. Maybe from the support of both parents. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nobody will now think about, nobody will be talking about, you know, if there is money or no money. Then when marriage comes, by God's special grace, things being equal, 1 month, 2 months, a child comes. What I mean, you know, there's conception. And you take it from there. In the next 1 year, there's a boy, there's a girl. The family becomes three, you know, it's three now, 3 persons, and you begin to feed. So that's where the financing something comes in. Pressure comes in. Then you begin to talk about personalities. The girl is the male, the wife, the couple. The wife is a personality. The husband is a personality. They don't know each other. There's always a difference when you are on your own, alone,
and when you are couple.
When you are couple, because there are people who don't know how to tolerate people, but they think they're intelligent. They think they're smart. When 2 persons come back, even male, there are people who can't do well together with it. But not to talk about a stranger whom you don't know. So
Okay.
That is why people go for what they call this marriage, premarital counseling.
Yeah, OJ, let me still ask this. You see, marriage is a long-term venture.
Yes.
When you're going, it's for life.
Yes.
Now, okay, traditionally we used to know that back in the days, before a man and woman gets together, the families go to make inquiries. You know, either, you know, the traditional way, and recently to the people who go to church say, let us go and seek the face of God. If God will bless
Approved.
this marriage, whether the marriage will work out and the rest of it. Now, even do people still do those things?
Yes, people do, but you find that the traditional aspect of it is being played down because of modernity and so-called civilization. For instance, there are people who get married, they only marry the picture of the girl. If somebody is abroad, is overstaying to some people, they just, you know, there's Facebook marriage. You know, on this one, most often, parents say, your mother, your parents, your sister, I want to tell you, there's one in Kechi here, because the guy outside there, when at abroad or overseas, we say, I want a Nigerian girl, because there women are free, and he's afraid of these things, westernization. He wants a wife like an African, like a Nigerian. So here they start shopping for a wife. Do you understand? He doesn't know the girl. He doesn't. So it's not a question of going to the family, going traditionally. 2 persons married must know each other to know that you know, if I'm marrying Janet, the Janet has the capacity to even learn.
Yeah, but let us contrast it with it now and before. Because what my parents told me, my uncle used to tell me how my mother was married. My father was staying in Lagos, and my mother, they came for a feast in the village, and they saw her a small girl,
and they picked it from there.
And they picked her. My father never met her, and they just packaged her and sent to Lagos.
The scenario has changed. Listen,
the scenario has changed.
It has changed. Like Madam said, you now have television, you now have social media. There are a lot of things people inculcate. They're exposed to a lot of things. So it's no longer the old time. You know, the old time is gone a long time.
Okay.
People are getting modern. So you don't tell them village things. They tell you forget it. It's old fashioned. So let's move ahead. For instance,
So
for instance, let me tell you how we have changed. Somebody goes to church to do wedding, traditional wedding. Sorry, to do white wedding. After white wedding, he now goes to do traditional wedding.
which should be the other way around.
Thank you, which should be the other way around. But that's what happens now.
Okay, madam, now even when OJ has admitted that people still make inquiries,
No, that one is obvious. You must do it. You must do that one.
Okay, make inquiry to find out.
You must.
Even there are other specific things you need to find out whether the lineage of this person.
You must.
Do they have madness?
No, that one it goes on.
Okay.
And you must also do blood, tests. They do that one.
For health.
But it doesn't stop there. We are talking about Chinyere marrying Batram. Does Chinyere know Batram? Batram is in overseas. How do you just take picture? I know Chinyere. Madam says, I know Chinyere. I work with her at Subeb. Therefore, she's good. And that's all. The Batram doesn't know Chinyere.
Okay.
So when you want to talk about having a capacity to endure when Batram gets maybe he has money, some money starts, there's no money. Maybe naturally. He's an easygoing person who needs money. She needs to do her hair for her. That's not she has no time for hardship. And Batam doesn't know that. Yeah, okay. And somebody picked her and put it on him. Okay. Do you understand?
So that is where recommendations may not...
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Okay, madam, even when they do these inquiries, whether they go to seek the face of God before their pastor, or whether they go to do alpha to know whether this man or whatever it is, why do marriages still fail? When, in spite of all of this, because the inquiries is just to make sure that everything works fine.
To fulfill all righteousness sometimes.
No, I don't agree to fulfill.
No, but it is.
If you are going into a venture, you know that this is for life. I think that is why on the side of the traditional people, the Igbo people, they do a lot of to clear grounds.
Before.
Yeah, before. But these days, even when they go to seek the face of God, and marriages still fail.
What is the percentage that do that now? The idea is that the man abroad is getting older. He's 30 years. His colleagues are getting married. And he has a very good system.
No, OJ, you are focusing on the people outside. I mean, even here.
Okay, let me come in there.
Let me come the local one.
Come in there.
Because most of the failure is the one outside.
I would say socially, not only the one so socially. I would say there's something we say in education, learning by association. You can be influenced by your peers. You can be the kind that succumbs to competition. You have been trained by your parents on how to be a good wife. Now you have been packaged to, and maybe your family is the moderate, just on the moderate level. You've been packaged to a rich man. Suddenly you want to fit in to that class.
Struggle.
You want to fit into that class. This is an upper class now, from middle class to an upper class. You want to fit in. And fitting in means going with their social norms and all that. You now drop whatever it is you had just to meet up. Some people end up being more arrogant, being laissez-faire, But meanwhile, that affluent man married you because of those qualities that he saw you possess, or your people put in you. Do you understand? But here you are now, trying to fit into the class of bourgeois, fit into the class of society women and all that, and you're losing your grounds.
Yes.
So that man will say, no, I did not bargain for this. So before you know it, you're passed back to sender. So that is why I would say, why I can say, even with all the checks and balances before marriage.
Yes. Peer influence.
Okay,
it's a factor. Okay. Now, how do we assess the role of marriage counselors? Because in the churches, they have people who counsel these young people, who are coming into the institution of marriages. And even when they start having issues, in the marriages, they also fall back on those counselors, and after that, there is still failure.
Yes.
So how do we, is it that they are not doing their job very well? Is it that the people that are talking to are not listening? So how do we place it?
I think
go on. Actually, I would say both, because advice works when you accept it, not so. And change has to come from within. You don't force people to change. Okay? Someone has to be convinced within him or her that this attitude, this character of mine is not leading anywhere. Let me try and talk. The other partner will also have to adjust himself or herself to enable you achieve that change. There has to be a compromise from both parties. And they also, most times, some of these couples you are talking about counseling, they are forced into counseling. They did not even go to counseling willingly. Okay. Maybe
ceremony.
Maybe a parent, an influential parent of any of the parties, for you must go for counseling. Or otherwise this. So someone that did not attend that counseling willingly,
no commitment.
You're only pouring water on stone. He's only doing it to fulfill all righteousness or show respect to whoever the higher authority that suggested that counseling. So it doesn't work. Another thing is when a couple, when I don't know this generation, I don't know whether they actually know the difference between love and lust.
Okay.
I don't know whether they know the difference really. I see most of these divorce cases as lust, and they call it love at first sight.
Okay. That's what you're saying is it is lust that propels this marriage.
Yes.
Not love.
Not love. Okay.
Because love endures all things. Love tolerates. Love lets go. But when it is that you saw this girl or this man because she is beautiful, she has the right thoughts in the right places, you say you're in love, you want to marry. Then you, on the other hand, you saw this guy, he's rich, he's handsome, he's well made, he's okay, I am in love. And that is it. Instead of looking for someone you know the character, the attitude of this person, that is what that is what you're going to endure, that is what you're going to enjoy.
Okay.
These other things, affluence, they come later. They're just additional things.
Very ephemeral.
The person in the person, if I should put it that way.
Okay.
It's the emotions, the character of that person. That is what you should be looking out for. And that is what you can tell yourself, I can endure this or I cannot. Some of these marriages that don't go through courtship and they don't know themselves very well, the man can pretend and the man can lie very well and cover up just to get what he wants. And once he gets what he wants, he stops campaigning and you now see the real him. If probably he tried during courtship to curtail his temper and beats you once, he would lie down and prostrate and say sorry. But once the campaign is over and marriage has started, the beating will increase now with that apology.
He becomes a beast.
So you now see he becomes the real him will come out. And what do you do?
So you are saying that people mask themselves, they hide their
they mask themselves very well. Believing another thing that young people these days don't know, they don't know the difference between marriage and wedding. They lump everything together and they believe it's going to be all rosy. The flamboyance of weddings these days, I will say, is also linked to divorce. Yes.
The flamboyant wedding.
Yes.
Flamboyance of wedding.
How does it lead to divorce? Do you have an idea?
Yes, the coloration, that's what it's saying. The outlay is very deceitful to some weaker minds, which oftentimes is associated with this generation, like she said. We have to pray that this generation becomes mature. You can go to university, but you're not enlightened.
Okay.
You can go to university, speak all the grammar. When it comes to real challenge of being disciplined, that's why you say in the university, that you have the character for which you are getting your certificate. So somebody can go to university, but he's not educated. After all, most of the governors and the people who are failing us are university graduates, but they don't know what integrity means. So that means the person is not disciplined. So most of these children, some of them are graduates, very good. They can speak good English, they have courage, but they don't know that you lack control. Do you understand? And you must understand, like Madam said, marriage is not a bread and butter. It's not a bread, and no marriage is met in heaven. Every marriage has its own challenges. Even that of the greatest president in the world has problem. Only when you go closer, you will see, God forbid. Is that what they are saying? So you may be looking at vehicles, looking at the things you see outside. When you go inside, you say, God forbid. So every marriage, so we must talk to people to understand that marriage is that the flamboyancy in the things you say, flower and all those things are ephemeral, that person.
Okay, madam.
Let me add something to what I said, yes, about flamboyant weddings being a source of cost to divorce in most cases. And I will even blame some of we parents. We want the flamboyant wedding. So we even go out of our way to help the couple go to extreme lengths to achieve that flamboyant wedding. And the impression these children are having is that, this is how the marriage is going to be. Even when it is difficult, my parents will come, they will finance, they will bring the resources and all that. Why don't we get back to our mentality of, my dear son, my dear daughter, how much do you have for this wedding? If it is 500,000, my dear, cut your coat clothes. I'm not saying that the parents wouldn't do their part. After all, if it's for the girl, the parents are supposed to, buy gifts and send their daughter off, buy household things. That is the help you should give. But when you now want a flamboyant wedding that if a woman belongs to 20 associations, all of them will come with a shebi to follow her, and my daughter is married and all that. You're putting yourself under pressure, and you're creating very high standards, social standards for this young couple. Did you understand? You're keeping everybody pressure, and some of these people, this couple, want that standard to be maintained, whether the economy is saying otherwise or not. If not, some people, I have cases, I have experiences. There's a divorce case. Do you know what happened? My dear, things are happening. The lady said that the way this man is behaving is not the way they behave in their own house.
Okay.
And she won't take it. So. That her mother and her own mother does not wash the father's clothes. So how will this man want to make it an issue that she should wash his clothes? It's not done. And that marriage ended.
Collapsed because of that.
I'm telling you, things like that.
So madam, let me stay with you. What do you look at as the consequences of collapsed marriage, broken marriage, divorce? What are the consequences? Maybe one or two.
Yes, there's depression on the part of both sides. And when depression sets in, every other thing goes wrong. Even in their workplace, even in their spiritual life, every other thing just goes wrong. And another thing, even when they want to start a new relationship, there's a phobia there. Okay. Who knows this kind of thing might happen again.
But do you have anything to add? The consequences?
The consequences are one of the consequences, beyond the phobia, it makes especially the woman to be religious. It's a consequence. She begins now to look for God. Because when they...
This is why we see so many women in the church.
Thank you. They own churches. Why? They own churches.
Are you talking from experience?
They come to you and tell you this and this, and you tell them, did you do this? You see what Madam has said, washing clothes. And if care is not, there's a washing machine. Only just the bride. My father did it there. And father, this is your different marriage. It's a different scenario. Do you understand what I'm saying? So on Monday, Easter Monday, I had to give a sermon about people who were dead in my church. And I told him, I said, this beauty you are seeing will fade. I told the lady, the akpo you are seeing the boy. I said, young man, we'll go, sometimes it will shrink. And I told the boy, you have to stop the over drinking, doing things now. You go to bar, go to bush. Now you have to come to your house. Know now that you are no longer a small brother, you are an ampa. So these things, the girl will start going to church. The boy himself, wherever he is, will also start looking for God. Do you understand? Maybe God
they get more committed.
They get more committed and more experienced. Then they will come back, even though there will be phobia, but God will come and help them. But it is important to say that marriages can never survive without God. God tempts you. It makes you disciplined, even if you are pretending with Him. Do you know what I'm saying? There are certain things. So that even if you are fornicating, if you are the stupid type that chase about, when you remember God, He said, "Thou shalt not do." So if you do it 3, 4, 5 times in a week, you do it 2 times, and in the process you can get away from it, and so vice versa. So these things are there. Whoever is planning to marry in this generation, God must confess. It does not, like Madam said, it doesn't matter how you pretend. Without God, marriages will continue to fail.
Okay, now, OJ, I want you to continue. Is it possible that non-observance of traditional rites can lead to collapse of marriage? This may appear superstitious.
No.
Some people hold on to it because I've had people say when they are doing marriage, traditional marriage, you should use palm wine, which is a recognized practice, instead of putting Fanta or ordinary wine. Can those things...
No, that aspect is not different. It's not even the tradition. The tradition is this. The tradition is the traditional marriage. Yes. You don't go to take a wife without doing the traditional things.
Okay.
Forget the wine. All those ones are just to add color. Okay. Whether you put candle or you put water. Somebody can be...
this is symbolic.
It's symbolic.
Okay.
But what is important is that you must do the omenala. Those things, because what is done in my village is never done in Hafia. So maybe there are people who use kola nut, a lot the basin of kola nut. That's what you will bring. There are people who bring yam. Some others will bring this. Those are the one. It doesn't matter. Even in the Bible, Bible recognizes, so it's not traditional. It's not like it's satanic. Bible recognizes that you must do those traditional things. You can't go and take somebody's wife and vice versa without doing traditional things. There are things the family of the boy will tell you in the process of doing that. There are things you will take from them, and they will know. The mother will be happy. If it's a daughter, you will buy her a wrapper. You buy those things are Roma. She will bless you, and you are your wife. You may think it's a joke, but it works. Yeah. That is why when she places a curse on that girl, she suffers. When the other one places a curse on the son, they suffer. So if those things are not working, it won't be real.
So you are recommending that our young people
must learn that those things must be done. You don't do America in Nigeria. This is Nigeria. This is Africa. Okay. When you don't do it, there will be a comma in the marriage. It won't work. Okay. Do you understand? It won't work if you have not done your traditional wedding, because you went to America. Go and do it now. It doesn't matter how many children you have. There are people who have 5 children, 7 children. You have not married the lady. What you are doing is friendship. If you have 5 daughters or 5 children and you have not paid your dowry, man, you are not the owner of those children. That is it's in the Bible. You must get married to your wife traditionally. This white wedding is not the main thing.
Yeah, the main thing is
the main thing is traditional wedding. And when there is court trouble, if you go to the court, you find out that is the one.
That's what they ask for.
That's what they ask for. Because now, if you want to wed now, they tell you to go to your local government and get a document. That is the one they take. So if you say wedding, they say which wedding. Because people now marry 2, 3 wives with the church. When that traditional wedding, they ask you questions. In the church, they marry 2.
Have you explained that?
It depends on the church. Depends on the church.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to bring any church. That's what I'm saying. As far as some churches do it, let me refer. Maybe I say some churches. Do you understand? Yes. But what I'm saying is,
okay, let me get you.
But in Igbo tradition, you can't do that. Okay. Do you understand? The only way you can do that, if you come, the owners of the first child will say, take the dowry back.
Okay. And you can remarry.
Thank you. Or we now know you pay for this one. We know you are getting to us. So you don't just do the other girl run away and you come and take another. You don't do that. Okay. These things matter. It doesn't matter. It's not a hocus pocus.
Madam, the issue of marriage collapse, we notice it more among young couples than among marriages that have endured over time. So why do you think it is so?
Well, I think it's so because the young ones, they think marriage has a book or a pattern it should follow. And if it's not like my parents' marriage, if they admire their parents' marriage, then it's not marriage.
And what they have in mind.
Yes, or what they have in mind, They already built this fantastic castle in the air of happily ever after thing. But they need to understand that marriage is learn as you go. There's no school for marriage. There's no handbook on marriage. And it's not rocket science.
No marriage is the same.
Even blood relation, blood siblings, they are not the same. So when you marry your husband or marry your wife, study her as you go. Know the things she likes and do them more. All the things she dislikes or he dislikes, and desist from them. Then you have a happy marriage.
Wonderful.
That's the thing. You live in harmony. Don't say it. You cannot be autocratic in marriage. No. You have to bend, both of you. Flexibility, tolerance. Even when one party has a very bad habit or character, you still teach in love.
Okay, madam, I'm running out the program. Okay, give me your parting word as a remedy to,
The remedy is God. 1.
Okay.
Every marriage must be hinged in capitals on God. Okay. It does not matter. Without God, no marriage. Because the marriage thing we are talking about Be it traditional, whatever. After all, the one Jesus Christ did in the Galilee was traditional. Is it not? That's so that's the traditional wedding. The foundation came from the Bible. If you don't believe in God, be it whichever way, it will fail. That is one. Secondly, there must be understanding. It's not love. It is understanding that will bring love. What is understanding? You tolerate your husband, your hobby, John. John tolerates Cynthia. Do you understand? Tolerance. Your wife may be the dirty type who doesn't wash her mouth very well, but she likes kisses. I mean, you know, and she likes kisses. So you have to proper help her. You must understand her handicap. Then your own, you want to wear one boxer for 200 days. She must understand that when you wear 2 boxers more, the order will come. She has to help you to wash it. So you don't say my mother does not wash boxers. When your father and your mother married in the hours of the years, there were no boxers.
Okay. Madam, your final word, your parting word, just
okay, my parting word, please. As a remedy to divorce, please, when you want to marry, get a pen and paper, write the qualities you want or you want in a man or a woman, and then look for those qualities in whoever you are admiring. If you can get up to 50 or 60 of them, the rest you have to build, nurture, and imbibe and tolerate in the person. Don't go for physical attraction. Go for innate qualities. That is when you know you will have a lasting marriage.
Okay, viewers, this is where we wrap it up. And you've heard from them. These are people who are experienced in marriages. And the points they have dished out here can be very good points to help you solve your issues in marriages. And on this note, we call it a day. My name is Afam Echi. Please continue to stay tuned to Universal Heritage Television Nigeria, and as we bring you another interesting package shortly. Thanks so much.